During our Farm Basics time today, we're going to talk about the Ag PhD Harvest Loss app, and here are the 3 important numbers you need to remember: 2, 4, and 16.
So at harvest time, you need a couple of tools. One, you need a square like this. It's a 1-foot square that we built out of PVC. Works great. You just throw it down on the ground, and then you count how many kernels you're seeing. Now, depending on the crop, as Brian mentioned, if you know the numbers 2, 4, and 16, well, you've got it down for corn, soybeans, and wheat. For corn, if you find 2 kernels in this 1 square foot, that's roughly 1 bushel per acre of loss. If you find 4 soybeans in this square foot, that would be roughly a bushel loss, and 16 kernels of wheat would equal roughly 1 bushel of loss.
You can also use the Ag PhD Harvest Loss app if you want to. It's a free app for your smartphone or your tablet. And just plug in, hey, I've got this crop, this is how many kernels I'm counting in that square foot. You can also put in what's the value of that crop per bushel, so then you know exactly how many dollars per acre you're losing.
Well, I think that's the important thing, because let's face it, when it gets to harvest time, we just want to roll. And I remember a few years back, I jumped in the combine with somebody, and there were some soybeans that were kind of lodged in one area of the field. And as we were going through, I was just watching, looking down from the combine, and I said, man, it looks like there's a lot of beans that were dropping on the ground. And he said, no, it's no big deal. And I said, why don't you just stop the combine for a minute? And I got out and I threw my square down, and we had 28 soybeans in the first square foot that I looked at. 28. Well, that's roughly 7 bushels of soybeans. Soybeans were somewhere in the $10 range, and I said, this is $70 an acre that we just dropped on the ground. And the guy said, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna start going just one way through this pass, and let's see how we do with that. So instead of going against the lean, we started to attack it. So they were leaning towards the east in that case. So we just combined that part of the soybean field from the east. And we got out and we looked, and we were dropping about 1 bushel per acre. So it was a $60 an acre difference to just run the combine one way. But you know what? If we wouldn't have gotten out and measured that, we really wouldn't have known. And just to see, there's some soybeans on the ground, it's no big deal, to actually put the dollars to it, got the combine to actually stop and try and do things the right way.
So here at Ag PhD, we talk often about all these production factors that the farmer needs to be watching all during the growing season to have the best crop at the end of the year. But you know what? That can all be ruined if the farmer isn't paying very close attention to what he has for harvest loss when he's going through the field in the fall. That's why we developed the free Ag PhD Harvest Loss Calculator. Hopefully that can help you on your farm, or if you're a non-farmer, at least you understand how big a deal this is now. You can have many dollars just laying on the ground at the end of the season that does you no good as the farmer. So that's why the farmer has to really pay attention to those types of things.
Now, one other thing you'll be wanting to watch very close on your farm is weed control, especially if you have our Weed of the Week. We'll show you how to control it later in the show.